that's that. That was a little tip from Jacob Wilkes and the Racing Ram fam. I watched the video on it like 6 months ago, and I totally spaced it. Totally forgot about that idea. But that worked pretty easy. Now I've got to go back. Now that I got that loose, I'll go back and take the 4 bolts out of this, unhook the wire, and then we'll pull the whole thing out, and then we can swap it over. Now, take this beast over here. Probably put this back in the scrap pile. Most likely. Let's see what we got. One here. This must be like a factory setup or something. It's got a plug on it. Huh. Interesting. Let's see. What size this is? Metric. Metric. It is metric. Boom. Pops right in. I'm sure you guys have seen this done a few times on YouTubes. If you actually plan on doing it. It's wiggly wigglers. Setting we got here. Grab a little wrench to make sure. Oh yeah, plenty tight. Plenty. Okay. Take it back over there and drop it in. See if we can get her threaded on there. This thing here was kind of sketchy. Let's see. First, there's no nut that goes on here. It's like that's broke off. Then the other one was zip tied. I guess it was zip tied here and zip tied through here through this hole. There's supposed to be a bolt that goes in there. And this, I may have to go find one. I think it's metric, so I got some metric bolts, but It's weird because there's like a little divot right here, and this steel pipe section or steel channel, the wire's underneath it, and that's supposed to pop in there, and the thing just barely pops in there enough. I mean, it is like super close, and actually this shroud was rubbing a little bit there. Oh, I can kind of hear it still. Hear that? Looks like it's rubbing over here. Huh. This side. What the? But I got this little hook down underneath here to hold this down. And then this, it has like a little hook in it. The hook's underneath that shroud. I don't know if that's holding it up or what, but let me see. This, oh, and I did use that wrench to wrap on it a couple times and just to snug it down after I screwed it on there. Let's see. This, I'll plug this up. Little tab's supposed to go in there, but that'll raise it up a little bit if I do that. I'll probably just smash this, straighten it out, squeeze that in there, make sure it's pulled down with some channel locks here, and then try to find a bolt to put in there to hold it. And then I'm gonna wiggle around on this a little bit to get rid of that. Oh man, it's just like barely ticking somewhere right in here. I'll figure that out here in a second. Okay, after a little more investigation, I found out that, okay, this stud right here, where is it? This stud snapped off. That's okay because this pops on there. And you got the other three nuts that are holding it on. Then somebody snapped off the little bolt that's supposed to go through this hole. They snapped the bolt off in there, so I'd have to drill it out. But after popping this in place, taking the channel locks on here, clamping that in, it's super solid. I pulled the old trick. I zip tied the wire back, put 2 zip ties through here, which you don't even really need because you got this other piece that holds it on to the plastic part of the shroud. So that actually holds it down. This is just for safety. And then this is to hold the wire back. And after I squeeze that down in there with the channel locks, the thing spins nice and free. It's got plenty of clearance. And you can see the other wires are way back up inside there, out of the way. So we're all good. And from what I hear on the internet, these things go bad pretty regularly. And it's only like a 30-minute job. So let's test it. That's blurry. Okay, let's crank it up and test it out. Check this out. What the heck is that? I know what that is. That's that little piece that fell down in there that I didn't get out. It's probably laying right there in the belt that's burning it up. Where's my light? Now I gotta put a new belt on it. Dag nabbit. Let's see here. That's gotta be what it is. Where would that thing be? Let me find it. Okay, we're gonna try this again. What happened was, yesterday, when that piece broke off that wrench, today I came out and I forgot about it. And I put the fan and clutch and all that stuff on there. When I cranked it up to test it, this thing here was down in the belt somehow. It got underneath the crank pulley. It was being ground out. It was being ground out by the crank sensor. where that sprocket or whatever that gear is, where the sensor comes around and hits the teeth on it, the teeth on that little gear. I was grinding those. They all look good. I'm thinking that the crank sensor might be glitched out though. So anyway, I had to put a new belt on because it started to bone out the belt. I was throwing pieces everywhere. I always carry a new belt under the seat, but we're not going to show that because there was a few choice words that I don't really want to put on the channel. But anyway, we got a new belt on, and it ain't easy. You got to use this and a bar, because the tool I bought to do that, a little bitty thin plate thing, you can't, there's no adjustment to it. You can't get to it. So anyway, let's go crank this thing up and see if we got any codes, because it did have a code for the clutch, but we'll see. Uh-oh. I bet the sensor's out. Oops. Yep, never done that before. Let's scan it. I got a crank sensor in here. Chrysler. Let me come back after this updates. Okay, firmware updated. Let's see. I think we got automatic search. Six, 7. Health report. Man, ruined the crank sensor and the belt. I carry one with me at all times, so I'll have to go down and get a body control module, blah, blah. Mosquitoes are bad, dudes. I was hoping to get rid of the code for the clutch fan. It says open circuit, no circuit, something. ETC cooling fan stored. That's stored. Active carbuncle lamp circuit because I have LED bulbs. Pressure sensor. What? Oh, that's for the tires. I don't have any pressure sensors in the tires. The stereo's been swapped out. It's non-factory, so I can have a backup camera and stuff. That's not anything. Reverse lamp, that's all LED stuff. Powertrain control module, ETC level 2 RPM performance. So what that means is it's not getting the RPM, so yeah, crank sensor shot. Cooling fan, control 1 open circuit. I can clear them all. Cannot be running. We'll see if the cooling fan circuit goes out, and then I'll change out the crank sensor. Body control module. What? Rear defrost. Okay, only code right now. So let me crank it. Okay. Now let's run codes again. Rescanning. Let's scan. Huh. I thought the crank sensor had come back up, or the RPM. But the electric clutch for the cooling fan is not coming back up because it was saying shorted or open circuit every time. So let me go change out the crankshaft sensor and I'll be right back. You always carry a crank sensor, cam sensor, airflow, mass airflow sensor, belt, a water pump. I got everything along with me. But here's what the new one looks like, and I noticed that other one, the side of it's all chewed off. So maybe on the fridge. That's another thing that got changed. There it is, right there. So you can see that. Up there. Crank position sensor. All the teeth look good on this, but the edge of it, yeah, you won't be able to see that, but the end of it is all chewed up. So I'm going to take that one bolt out. I got an Allen bolt right there. I'll take that Allen bolt out, pop it out, and drop this new one in there. Okay, you'd think this here might be a problem. Just a little bit. Let's find out. Aha! We got the fix. Now, no engine lights. You can see that. We'll shut it off, rescan it. See, we got the air pressure light because whoever put new tires on it didn't put any new sensors in it. So when these tires wear out and I get new ones, I'm going to put all new sensors. It's only like $100 or something, $129 off Amazon for all new ones. Now let's scan it. Dino's Garage for diesels, and order me another belt and another crank position sensor, camshaft sensor. That way I got some backups. No fault, anti-lock brake. Let's see here. Should just have the light codes. Defrost circuit open. Yeah, right. I put all new air doors in this thing. It's all good. Everything works on it. I put those billet aluminum ones in it. Cabin node lamp. That's an LED light. Amp. What amp? 5 audio speaker open circuit. All speakers work. No codes. Air pressure injector coating. I made keys for it. When I first bought it, made a couple new keys. System selection. Stream. What do you want to look at? Crankcase pressure, coolant temp. Let's see, boost pressure. Nope. It's pretty cool, man, because you can go through here and you can move all the air doors. Turn the AC on and off. It'll tell you like the AC pressures. Fuel pressure sensor. What's that? Let's see. Fuel pressure voltage. Oh yeah, I can watch the fuel rail pressures and watch it go up to 18,000 to whatever, 20,000. Idling you're at like 7,000 or 8,000 PSI. Look, it'll estimate the turbo speed. Here, let's just look at a couple things. We got atmospheric pressure right now. Coolant. So like at 30 PSI, you'd be showing like 44 PSI here because you got the atmospheric pressure plus whatever you boost to it. Coolant temp, crankcase pressure. Oh, inches. It's got, okay, 1 inch. Fuel pressure sensor. See that? Oh, I guess the idle's at 4,000 or 5,000. 10, 12,000, just kind of 16,000 I saw it hit. Anyway, we're done. It's all good. Oh, let me check my fan to see if check my fan. Let's see how if it's blowing in the lighter or not. I know we didn't get a fan code, so before I got a fan code every time. See if I turn the AC on, if it'll pick it up. No, it turned a lot easier before, just when I was sitting there. See the AC on it should be blowing a lot harder to keep the condenser fan cooler. But with it being so cold, I don't know. Maybe it'll check whenever the head pressure gets up, then it will kick in, because it's pulse width modulated, meaning it'll just send a signal just to get more or less signal to have it turn faster. Blowing cold. Anyway, we'll take it out and test it. I'll let it sit here for a while and see if it'll heat up. Stabilizing pressure.